So now you're saying to yourself, well, we're 25 minutes into this thing. When we can actually look at how this game is played. Well, you're in luck. If you've made it this far, we're going to actually look at how the game is played. So the game is broken down into steps. And again, Ken Truber, oops. He put it out there. What the hell? So the turn sequence is the operations phase. We draw the formation chit, and whatever formation is drawn happens here. The turn ends, like I said in video 1, when the second of these is drawn. So then what happens? We remove the operations complete counters, we do a command, we check for command actually, so you have to be within command range, and if you're not, you don't get to do anything. You're marked as out of command. So you're marked as out of command, and all you can do is op fire. If you are in command, you can do operations, which are the movement and the combat that we've already talked about. Which doesn't take place yet. You can rally, so if you're disrupted, you can roll based on morale. You need to roll under morale to rally, which removes the disrupted marker. Then you do the operations, and then at the end of the turn, we do marker removal phase, remove ops complete, smoke depletes, which we didn't really talk about. If HQ, as our British friends would say, an HQ, an HQ, if they're eliminated, their reduce side comes on, which you can see as a lower morale, or shorter command radius, I should say. And then everything goes back into the cup and we do it again. So here are the penalties for being out of command. You can't move or fire, but you off fire, and you have a -1 to your rally checks. So I think that's it. I don't know that there's anything else we need to see for this scenario. I should mention there's concealment, which plays into line of sight. There are other units. The air units, the helicopters, air support. They're not in this scenario though, so we're not going to actually even look at it. So we will reset by putting the Texans back here, but we'll get set back up. Well, we're set back up. So the Texans are going to go. So again, these guys are mounted up, and they have five movement. So they come on with 1, and actually let me look at something. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And should we just line these guys up the same? 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we'll do that. We'll get tricky. Come on with a nice wide front. And so one thing that Kev Sharp from the big board pointed out to me is I was under the impression that the headquarters was attached to the formation. It's actually attached to the type of art it has on it. So a headquarters has to be with the type of unit it has listed. So where it is now, I would like it to be back here and kind of shielded, but there's this ITV in this truck, so the headquarters can't actually be with that because it needs to be with the 113. Actually, I was having a discussion with a coworker today about Bradleys and 113s and apparently some new troop transport that the Navy's using. I don't know why they're transporting troops on land, but they do that, I guess, despite my Army biases. So that's going to be activation number 1. they don't have, I'm gonna keep doing that. I don't have any armor to activate right now, so there's not gonna be any moving fire or anything. So we'll just draw the next shit, and it's a blurry turn end. And we do it again. And a 173rd Airborne gets to activate. So now we're presented with a decision. What do these guys do? 113s obviously have pretty terrible high explosive combat. They're just trying to get the guys into battle and no armor piercing. Well, there's no armor on the board right now for the airborne. I lie. I didn't talk about those, but those are basically support weapons, but they're mobile. So we'll figure out what to do with the airborne. Especially looking at this, if I had known the Sheridan was there with a range of 11, they would have taken a shot at them. So let's look at how combat plays out. So this guy's going to have to move on. The range of 11s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if anyone comes on, they can take a shot at them. So we will take a shot at this guy. And we'll just leave him there for the ease of it all. So we're rolling 4 dice because of this number, and we're rolling on a 4. Blurry dice everywhere. So that's 3 hits. And they get 1. That's a 2. So that's going to be 3 hits. So that's 1 would be disruption, which I should have out. Disrupted is step 1. Step 2 is disruption, as you can see there. And then 3 eliminates it. One thing I didn't talk about during troop transport is that if the transport is destroyed, so is whatever's in there. So this isn't actually destroyed because we haven't assigned it yet. Maybe we'll just leave it somewhere so that we remember to look at it later. This guy's then marked ops complete. What do you know? The counter's been drawn, so we won't even place that. I do like to keep a deck handy though, just in case. So they're gonna attack the HQ, because why not? So it's gonna be the same thing. So it's just gonna be 1 hit. They're gonna roll on a 6. So they take 1 hit, they're disrupted. Man, must need more light in here. So we need to decide what to do with these guys. These guys with their command range of 5 are probably okay hanging out in the city. I don't know strategically that maybe if they can move 1, 2, 3 and ops complete, that actually doesn't do anything for them. So they're just gonna stay there. So obviously the next chit is that one. And we do cleanup. I always end up just piling stuff down here. Yeah, we probably don't need to watch this, but whatever. Speaking of piling stuff, there's a dragon down there. I'm a big fan of dragons. So now getting added into the cup per the scenario special rules is a designated formation chit. right there, which basically lets the Texans activate for free. So as it stands now, they have 2. The Americans, quote unquote, have 1. I know the history in this game is fake, but it's still kind of makes me feel weird. The Texans are Americans. So that's the Americans. Which is an unfortunate shit draw because they're not on the offensive, so they don't want to go first. So it looks like they're going to pass because there's not really anything. Oh, why are they going to pass? I don't know if you guys saw that. I'm making this decision independent. Yeah. We won't pay attention to that. They're actually going to fire at them. Disregarding their op fire, they're going to take another shot. It's actually at this M113. They're at 4-6, or sorry, 4-4. That's 1. So that's 2 hits, and they get 1 hit, or 1 defense. So that negates one of those, making that shiny 5 a hit. The disruption stays, and it's reduced, and the headquarters goes back up. And I'm not forgetting the Sheridan. So that's a turn end and an activation. And these guys will get to activate. So you can see now kind of how the game gets going. I'm going to try to take a couple more turns before we video again. But activation. The choice is when do you activate, when you're pulled. Eventually, in turn 4 of, I believe, 7? Doesn't matter right now. But they're going to get that in and get more activations about halfway into the scenario. So we'll come back a little bit later.